Hello, my name is Clayton, and welcome to episode 137 of the Watch Dog podcast. I'm a professional dog runner and watch enthusiast talking to his pals about dogs and watches. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for listening. You know, I appreciate it. I am very, very sorry for the late episode this week. Pete McConville, one of my absolute favorite people to have on the show, he and I had planned to record an episode taking a much deeper look into the Morgan Stanley Swiss Watch Report. I knew he would have a unique perspective. He loves talking about this stuff. And especially since it was like a month after the release and a month after everyone else had talked about it, I wanted to take a not so obvious look at the Morgan Stanley Swiss Watch Report, if you will. A play off of Pete's former channel name many years ago now. Unfortunately, when we tried to record, we were 0 for 2. Technical difficulties both times we tried to record. And you couple that with a busy week, and I just wasn't able to get an episode out when I wanted to. But I'm sneaking it in here at the end of the week. I have a pretty good weekly streak going, and I didn't want it to end, so you're getting it on a Sunday to sneak it in. Or maybe Saturday night. Let's hope Saturday night. And also, hopefully, Pete and I can get around to recording again. He couldn't hear me, which I know is probably a dream come true for most of you who listen to this show. But yeah, pretty hard to, in all seriousness, pretty hard to record an episode when you can't hear each other. But yeah, hopefully we'll get those sorted out and have him back on because like I said, he's absolutely one of my favorite people to have on the show. And then next week, we should get back into our regular routine of having a midweek episode, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. That's really the flow I like to stay on. Don't want the momentum to end. I'm so appreciative for all the new listeners I'm hearing from. And yeah, like I said, seeing the show grow every week. It's amazing. So yeah, let's keep that momentum going. Yeah, hope everything else is going well for you. If you were in the Midwest this past week, you experienced your own blizzard of 26. My goodness. Oh, man. My family in the Copper Country region of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan missed out. They usually don't miss out on those type of things, but yeah, they didn't really get hammered. Other parts of the UP, though, got up to 54 inches of snow. I went to school in Marquette, Michigan, Northern Michigan University, not to be confused with Marquette University in, is it Milwaukee? Somewhere in Wisconsin. Yeah, not to be confused with that. But yeah, they got like 50 inches of snow there. I saw reels from people who like opened their garage door and the snow was like up neck high when they opened their garage door. Pretty daunting task for a snowblower when there's that much snow. We had our own blizzard of 26 about a month ago now, I guess, and all the snow is gone. Mud season now has begun. Rapid snow melt and lots of rain. Conditions at the farm where I take my dogs. If you're new to the show, I have a dog excursion business. I take them to a giant farm to play off leash. It's been a mud field out there. Everybody is pumping water from their basements out there. You know, like I said, rapid snow melt water. The sump pumps are kicking, and yeah, unfortunately, it seems to be ending up at our field. Half of it's dry, so we're sticking to that half. But yeah, anybody do anything fun for St. Patrick's Day? That was a few days ago. I did nothing. I didn't even wear green. Didn't wear a green watch. I didn't even have a beer. I didn't have a Guinness. Didn't have, was it corned beef and cabbage? Didn't have that. It passed me by. Life's just a blur lately. Whatever you did, I hope it was fun. If you went to a parade, I know there's some parades around here. In Boston, there's a big parade, and then in Newport, Rhode Island, was at that one years and years ago, but haven't been anytime soon. Well, there's a lot of people I tend to stay away for the most part, but whatever you did, I hope you were safe, didn't overdo it, and I hope the luck o' the Irish, I'm not even going to attempt an Irish accent. I hope the luck of the Irish was on your side. Do any of you have a lucky watch? Doesn't even have to be green. Maybe it's a watch you always wear when you have something important going on. A good thing happened to you when you were wearing that watch and you just ride it anytime you have anything significant going on in your life, a big presentation or meeting at work, a job interview, anything like that, you wear your lucky watch. Good things are always going to happen when you wear that watch. I don't think I have a lucky watch. I have an unlucky watch, though. I know I have an unlucky watch. Seems like I've had that watch on when more memorable, unlucky things have happened in my life. I've been wearing it's a G-Shock. It's a work watch. Whenever really bad things have happened at work over the past few years, it seems I always end up wearing this G-Shock Square. It's the GB5600B. It's from like 2013. It was one of the early Bluetooth models. It's blue. It's really a striking looking G-Shock. Battery powered. Just had the battery changed on it not too long ago, actually. I picked this up from the Casio outlet store. I think I asked for it around the holidays like 4 years ago. Marissa bought it for me for the holidays. I had never seen anything like it. I like colorful watches. And this was a really neat looking G-Shock. It's, yeah, completely out of date Bluetooth technology. You could actually save like phone numbers in it, email addresses. There's still obviously an option to do that on the watch, but yeah, it does not sync up with any of the current G-Shock apps or anything like that. Yeah, the Bluetooth technology on this is completely obsolete. But anyway, several bad things have happened to me when I've worn this watch at work. Most notably, I got in a fender bender. I was using a U-Haul rental van to transport dogs, and my van was at the shop for something, which is already unlucky. And then turns out I didn't have any dogs with me, luckily, but I got in a fender bender with a rental. And lo and behold, I was wearing this G-Shock. I think whenever I'm starting a new dog or something, and that's nerve wracking. You never know. I take like 13, 14 dogs off leash at once. You never know if a new dog is going to fit in, with the others. Obviously, I only take dogs that have a history of socialization, no aggression issues whatsoever, but still, they are dogs. There can be personality issues. They can be nervous, things like that. So yeah, whenever I start a new dog in with my pack and I'm wearing this GB5600B, I think twice. I'm like, maybe should I wear another watch? I want this to go well. But yeah, lo and behold, it's been actually pretty good. I have not had anything significant happen now in a couple years of wearing this watch. But yeah, there was like a string of, I don't know, a few days in a row where I did not have a great day. And I was like, oh, yep, sure enough, look at the watch I'm wearing. So, yeah, I guess it'd be funny to know. Reach out. Do you have a lucky watch or an unlucky watch? Yeah, I'd love to hear the stories that go along with that. So please shoot me a message on Instagram and let me know. Either way, happy belated St. Patrick's Day to you. Okay, from unlucky to negativity, let's get into the main topic for this week. I've been running marathons for about 21 years now. This summer will be 21 years since I ran my very first marathon. There's a saying I've heard a lot that not only applies to running, but to real life as well. And it's something to the effect of don't focus on the headwinds, focus on the tailwinds. Well, what the hell does that mean exactly, right? A headwind in running is that wind blowing directly in your face, providing some sort of active resistance. If you've run, you know what I'm talking about. Windy day, it's blowing directly in your face. You can't breathe. It's almost like somebody is standing in front of you and actively trying to push you backward, right? That's a headwind. Running's hard enough without a stiff headwind, right? Then what's a tailwind? It's the opposite. It's the wind at your back. When you're running into a wind and you turn around to head back home. I'm doing a 20-mile run today out and back. If it's windy that first 10 miles and it's blowing directly in my face, I look forward to turning around because then it's working for me, right? That's what the tailwind is. Instead of working against you, it's working for you, with you, propelling you forward. So, okay, we get what it means in running. What does that mean in real day-to-day life? It urges people to stop obsessing over obstacles in your life, headwinds, and instead appreciate the advantages and favorable conditions, tailwinds, pushing you forward, right? I'll speak for myself anyway, and for most of you probably. That is easier said than done. Let's say I'm doing my 20-mile run today. I am running into that headwind. It's terrible. It sucks. It's so hard. And then I turn around and I'm getting the benefit of the tailwind. I'll appreciate it for like a minute. And then I'll focus on the other things that suck. My knee, my ankle, how cold it is. I only appreciate the positive thing for a little while. And then my mind goes back to the negative stuff, right? And same thing can apply to real life. Someone can give you or me 30 compliments on your appearance, on your watch, whatever the job you're doing, whatever, the podcast. But if I hear one negative comment, I'll focus on that instead of the 30 compliments I got. I probably won't even believe the positive things you say about me, but I'll sure as hell believe that one negative thing. So why is that? Humans have a negativity bias, the tendency to give more weight to negative experiences, information, or emotions than positive ones. Historically, prioritizing threats, our ancestors did this, predators, danger, over rewards, food, and comfort was essential for staying alive. Our brains are wired to detect, process, and remember bad news faster than good news. That's why negative comments or criticisms tend to have a larger emotional impact and are more memorable than praise, right? Again, that one negative thing you say is going to outweigh all the 30 positive things I hear about whatever it might be. And that's what I want to focus on today. We're getting it back to watch collecting and watch collectors, right? And I'll put some links to some of the sites where I got some of that information about negativity and how we're hardwired to be more negative than positive. Oh, it's endlessly fascinating, I think. So I guess what I talked about here explains why we have a fascination with the negative. The bloody car crash we pass on the freeway that we just can't look away from, right? Even though we know we should. You just can't help but peek when you see flames and ambulances and stretchers. Or maybe it's just me and I'm a sick bastard. But I have a feeling you do the same thing, right? Our endless fascination with tabloid media and shows like Entertainment Tonight. I don't know. I don't watch these. Extra. Is Entertainment Tonight still a thing? I have no idea. I think Extra is. We love hearing about celebrity overdose deaths. And I think this definitely spills over into the watch hobby as well. Negativity, right? And everything I'm about to say, I firmly include myself in all of it. I'm not preaching. I'm 100% a part of this. Okay. I just want to make that clear. So I mentioned Pete McConville and I were going to talk about the Morgan Stanley Swiss watch report. A handful of the brands are doing well, but the majority of them, even though these are estimates, and I know Swatch Group came out against the Morgan Stanley Swiss watch report and everything, they state clearly that they are estimates. For the most part, the Morgan Stanley Swiss watch report for 2025 is equivalent to a bloody car crash, isn't it? Brands are not doing well. It's a celebrity divorce. It's an overdose. Watch brands, by and large, are struggling. And I'm sure if Pete and I could hear each other talking, Omega's downfall would have come up, right? On the heels of the Swiss watch report, Omega falling to 5th place behind Rolex, Cartier, Patek, and AP has been good business for content creators, YouTube reviewers, right? I've seen video after video knocking Omega while they're down. These videos are getting a ton of views, and the comment section is also criticizing Omega for everything they are doing wrong right now. Hell, I've been talking a lot about it. It's almost as if we take a little glee in the fact that Omega is struggling. People are so proud of themselves for predicting Omega's struggles, and they actually seem happy that it's coming to fruition. I admit, a little bit of me, I wouldn't say I'm happy, but there is a bit of satisfaction in seeing their shortcomings bear out this way in less sales. I've been pretty critical of Omega. I've owned 4 Omega watches. The quality has never been all that great, in my opinion. I don't think they're worth the money I paid for them, and now they're raising their prices to astronomical levels. And that's just based on having owned them. Sharp edges that you see from a micro brand, not a high-end Swiss luxury watchmaker. It's ridiculous. And that's why I've been so critical. I'm not taking glee in their downfall because I want to see them fail, though. They are, whether I like them or not, Omega is one of the all-time great historical watch brands. They should not be in this position, but here they are. So maybe that's why a part of me and other watch enthusiasts seem to be reveling in their struggles a little bit, because we know they can do better. Maybe it's a wake-up call to the people in charge, for the people over at Omega and Swatch Group to say, you know what, F this, we're better than this. Let's start making some changes. But I know it's super negative for me to feel this way, to take any sort of glee in seeing watch brands go under. We've seen it before. I know a lot of people who, when Bremont came out with their whole new kind of restructuring, right? I wasn't a big fan of it, But there were some people who were actively like, oh, I give them 6 months, they'll be out of business. And they were like they're happy about it. That's what they deserve. I think as a watch enthusiast, and I've definitely felt this way too, again, including myself, but shouldn't we want all the brands to do well, even if we don't like them? But yet here we are, rooting for brands to go out of business. Maybe because we're predicting it and then we're right. So, it's a stroke of our ego to be right about stuff. So maybe that's why we take such glee in bad things happening to watch brands. We're sick. Why ever it's happening, though, like I said, it's natural. We're sort of hardwired to be negative. We also want our content creators, YouTube reviewers, podcasters, we want them to be negative too, don't we? We want them to say things we don't like about a watch and that they don't like about a watch. We scoff when we hear watch media members and content creators say they don't look at watches that they don't like, right? That would be a waste of time. I only review watches I like. I've heard Britt Pierce say that. I've heard others say this. And a lot of us just think that's BS, right? We love Jody just when we're watching his moans and niggles section, right? To us, negativity equals honesty. If you do a 20-minute review and you have nothing negative to say about a watch whatsoever, we just assume you're bought and paid for by the brand or a retailer, that you're not on the level, right? Negativity is how we, the watch buyers and review consumers, suss out the shillers from the honest, right? We do this. We welcome negativity. We actively want them to be negative in a review. Now, YouTube watch reviewers are legally required to flash the paid promotion tab at the beginning of videos where they receive compensation, whether that be a financial compensation, a free watch, whatever it might be, right? But even if they don't flash that, and they're specifically telling you when they don't flash that there is no compensation, it's just an honest review, we're still pretty skeptical, right? Especially if they're overwhelmingly positive. We know a lot of these watch YouTubers and podcasters are extremely cozy with certain brands. And they don't talk about all of it all that much. Collaborations. We'll talk a lot about this coming up. But lots of YouTubers, podcasters are getting in the watch collaboration game. Sometimes they get paid for it. I know Watch Chris did, it was a Christopher Ward, I think, with his Gotham Watch Club. He said he didn't make any money from that collaboration. But still, you're building an intimate relationship with the brand. And I think it's human nature. A lot of these YouTubers deny it. And it's one of the reasons I don't want any sort of relationship with brands, because it's human nature to be positive. If somebody gives you access without even paying you, for me anyway, that gives me a pretty positive view. Oh, like Christopher Ward's noticing that I exist. That's really cool. I'm going to probably, lean towards the positive. Maybe not everybody does that. And hey, more power to you, but I'm still skeptical. Even when people get watches for review from brands and they have to give them back, it's still kind of a relationship with a brand. So I'm taking everything you say with a grain of salt. If I ever get to that point where, I have thousands of people listening every week and watch brands are, going head over heels to give me a watch, maybe I'll feel that way. Hey, I get to review this watch and I can be honest without human emotion getting in the way. I don't know. I can't do that right now. And I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. Again, I think it's an intimate relationship with a brand, even if you're doing a collaboration without getting paid. Then there's consulting work. A certain YouTuber, I'm not going to name him, a few weeks ago released a video about how people aren't watching his reviews anymore. He laid out how he makes money from his channel, right? But he failed to mention that he consults for a lot of brands. I've actually heard him say on podcasts that he does this, so I'm not making it up. But he didn't mention it here. Was that an accidental omission? I doubt it. I doubt that, right? And more power to him. He has every right to consult, make money however he wants to, make a nice living. Hey, more power to him. But it just wasn't transparent. And I think you probably all know who I'm talking about. Other podcasters and YouTubers do consulting work for brands, and they don't ever really admit it on their shows or their channels. It mostly comes up when they guest on other podcaster channels. There was just another podcaster who I learned just a couple weeks ago from an appearance on another show. that they do consulting for other brands and actually design for brands. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It seems a little cozy for me, a negative content consumer and somebody who makes content. I don't know. I just don't feel good about it personally. I just don't know if I could separate my biases. So when we know these content creators have cozy relationships with brands, it gets our radar up when we feel they aren't as hard on a watch as they could possibly be, right? We will accuse them of things that might not even be true. Because how dare you not be negative about a watch? You must be getting paid somehow, whether obvious or under the table. If you're not admitting it, I still don't believe you. I think you're getting paid. And that gets me to collaborations, and one specific collaboration that has been a hot button issue over the last month or so. Adrian Barker's collaboration with Christopher Ward on his Lumiere, however you say it. I swear that watch has started a cottage industry of negative YouTube videos. They're filling up my algorithm right now. Channels I've never even heard of are covering it and getting thousands of views. A video that came up on my algorithm recently accused Adrian of speaking negatively about Rolex a month in advance of his collaboration announcement to get more people interested in his version of the Lumiere. You got more time on your heads than I do if you're inventing this stuff. It might be true, but I don't know, man. You have a very active imagination. This person felt that the Lumiere looked a lot like a Submariner, Adrian's version of the Lumiere. He thought it was a strategic move by Adrian. Other YouTubers are making videos about his friend and podcast partner, Britt Pierce, and her video about Adrian's Lumiere, calling it a game changer. That seems to be, I would like that to be outlawed. I'm seeing every single watch as a game changer now, right? Saw it on a couple videos this week. This watch is a game changer. Britt has also been very nice about Christopher Ward over the past year or so. So she must be getting paid. That's what these videos are insinuating. She and Adrian are in cahoots together because they're both getting paid by Christopher Ward. She must have been financially compensated for talking nicely about his watch, even though the paid promotion tab did not come up in her video that covered the watch. There was so much of this noise that she actually felt compelled to release a video reiterating that she was not paid to talk nicely about it, that she just liked it. But she responded to it. So even the big time YouTubers are hearing this noise now that these smaller channels are making. The guys making these scandalous videos about exposing quote unquote Adrian and Britt and other YouTubers are pretty small channels for the most part. If you look at their non-gossipy tabloid content, they only have about 100 views each. But the salacious Adrian Barker, Britt Pierce stuff gets thousands of views. Again, we love negativity. I'll admit it. I don't watch any of these videos except for the tabloid stuff. I don't actively seek it out, but the algorithm feeds it to me, and I gladly eat it up. Right? It's like when my wife buys a bunch of junk food. I don't go and buy it myself, but she brings a lot of it home. She has self-control. I don't. So I just eat it because I burn so many calories, right? Same thing with this. I don't seek it out necessarily, but when it's served up to me, open up and say, we love negativity. We're drawn to it. Like the National Enquirer at the checkout line at the grocery store. I don't even know if that happens anymore. Most of the time it's just self-checkout now, and I buy everything on Amazon. But, you remember those headlines like Vanna White having a torrid affair with Bigfoot, some of that outrageous stuff. We're so drawn to that. My favorite part about these new channels popping up, though, that are saying negative stuff about big-time YouTubers, they get offended when people are negative back to them. One even made a video calling out the negative comments. Listen, I think there's space for all types of channels and videos. I really do. Even this kind of stuff, even if I don't love it all. And a lot of it I don't. And I try not to be negative about content creators because I know how hard it is to come up with ideas week in and week out. And some of these people are making 3-4 videos a week, some daily. It's really hard. And when you talk in front of a microphone, sometimes you just say stuff. It comes out wrong. I know I've been called out for saying things and then doing the opposite, been called a hypocrite. That's just, and of course, like, hey, I'm open to it because I said it and I did something else. Right. But things change. So I totally understand. So while I choose not to really rip on content creators all that much, there's a space for doing it. If you want to do it, go for it. But even though it's not necessarily for me, however, critiquing YouTubers who are far more successful than these smaller channels that seem to be doing it a lot now, it does come off to me anyway, a little holier than thou, jealous, and bitter. I actually told one of the YouTubers in his comment section with one of these videos where he was sad that people were being negative about him in a video where he was negative. I told him, hey, it does come off a little holier than thou and bitter. If you're going to make this type of content, you have to expect blowback. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. However, negativity can cross a line, and it did with some of the comments on this guy's video. Personal insults about his weight and looks and all that stuff. Unfortunately, you do see that a lot. And I know, for me anyway, if somebody does that with me, I just stop engaging. When you have to resort to personal insults in any argument, you've lost. You have nothing constructive and intelligent left to say, so you resort to insulting me about my clothes, my face, whatever. The argument's over for me. You see heated arguments in watch forums and Facebook groups devolve into this all the time. I think a lot of our negative comments on certain watches and horology in general come out of a place of care. We care a lot. We love these small mechanical marvels, so we tend to critique the smallest details. They're also very expensive, so we have a tendency to nitpick over all of that. And I think that's a good thing. You should have a critical eye. Maybe it's not even negativity. Maybe it's just being critical. And I think disagreements about that stuff can be healthy. I've had many. I wouldn't call them arguments, but yeah, strongly worded disagreements about watches. I've had a lot of them. But like I said, I shut it down when it gets personal. I'm not going there with you. I'm not going to let you drag me down there. We can disagree about a watch, but I don't even know you in most cases, and you don't know me. And you can make assumptions about me and insult me. You have no idea, and I have no idea. So I'm not going there with you. Let's keep it on the watch. I'm all about that. Because again, we care. We care a lot. But yeah, anything outside of that, I'm not going down that road. So in closing, I guess, there's obviously a biological reason that we tend toward the negative. When a new watch is released, we might comment on the things we like about it, but the one or two things we dislike get all the attention, right? It's a nice design, but it's too thick. I hate the hands. It doesn't have micro adjust, 430 date window, yada, yada, yada. We ignore the tailwinds and put all our focus and energy on the headwinds. I think when it comes to spending a lot of money, that's important, but also I think I'll just speak for myself here, I think I need to put some of those headwinds aside. For instance, I just mentioned it, 430 date window. Images of watches on the internet are blown up. I think when that happens, 430 date windows look horrible. However, I have a watch with a 430 date window in real life that I wear, and I don't even notice it or think about it. I just wear the watch. It doesn't bother me at all. Obviously, watches are much smaller than they appear online. Kind of like that warning on your side mirror on your car, right? Something like that. But chances are it's not going to bug you that much once you get it on your wrist, whatever your little moan might be about a certain watch. And it's also the fact that we can't try a lot of these watches on, like a Christopher Ward. We have to buy them blindly in most cases. Unless you live in Dallas now, I think they have some sort of showcase or shop in Dallas. But for the most part, we're buying these blindly without getting to try them on. So we let the headwinds dominate the tailwinds. And maybe we can do that with our content creators as well. It doesn't always have to be a giant conspiracy, right? Maybe they're just trying to make a living. Now, do I trust all of them? Not really. Do I feel compelled to do a deep dive and expose them all? No. In most cases, I'll still watch all their content even, or some of it, most of it anyway. I'll just take it all with a giant grain of salt. The biggest grain of salt possible. And while I admit I actually do tend toward the negative, my wife will say it. I'm a pretty negative guy, even though I don't always come off that way. I am. I'm trying my hardest to focus more on the tailwinds. We get all of this content for free, most of it for free. You can pay for that stuff, but no one's forcing you to. And if you don't like it, unsubscribe. Don't watch. It's easy. All right. I guess we'll end there. I have no idea what the hell I just said, but negativity has been something I've been thinking about recently. So I thought I would just throw some verbal diarrhea into a podcast here. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think you're more of a positive person than negative, or do you thrive on the negativity? Do you seek out the channels that do a deep dive into whether Adrian and Britt are somehow making millions of dollars from Christopher Ward and everything is one giant conspiracy? I would love to hear all of your opinions on this stuff. You can shoot me a message on Instagram. I'm thinking about getting an email address going here. I used to have one. I need to find that. I don't know the password to get in, all that stuff. Probably have a million emails waiting for me, but I'll try and get one here in the next few weeks. I'll let you know. This gets released as a YouTube video, so you can certainly comment there. You can also text the podcast. Again, my apologies for being late this week. We'll get back on track next week. Take care of yourselves, and remember, sometimes you're the dog, sometimes you're the hydrant, but hey, at least you're outside. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Watch Dog Podcast. See you later.